Forget what the history books say. Here is the bloody reality of John D. Rockefeller. Close your eyes. Open any history book. They'll tell you about a frail old man tossing shiny dimes to dirty street children. They call him the American dream, from rags to riches. And you buy it? Politicians want you to swallow that cheap gospel. Don't let the black and white photos fool you. We aren't talking about a saint. He was a machine, a cold, calculating algorithm of capitalism, programmed to devour everything in its path. Rewind to 1870. America, after 6 p.m., was a graveyard. To afford a few flickering hours to read, a factory worker had to trade 2 hours of his life in a suffocating textile mill. Then came Rockefeller. He didn't swing a knife, he swung ledgers. By 1890, the price of oil plummeted. It now took a worker less than 30 minutes to light up his house. Rockefeller ripped through the night. He gave back millions of hours to humanity. Kindness? No, it was the softest noose in history, because once you couldn't survive without his light, he owned your throat. Behind closed oak doors, the corpses of thousands of small businesses were piling up. His rivals died because of secret freight agreements signed in the shadows. He simply cut off their oxygen, watched them thrash, choke, and slowly bleed out. He was an apex predator who chewed up rivals and forced us all to drop to our knees and say thank you. You want to find the origin of this cold blood? Look at Devil Bill Rockefeller, John T.M.'s father, a traveling con artist, a bigamist living a double life. Bill didn't attempt to teach his son morality. He taught him how to swallow people whole. I cheat my boys every chance I get, Bill once smirked. John learned that lesson flawlessly. Trust is a privilege for the dying. Morality is just expensive jewelry for the weak. But if you think John lusted after dollar bills, you're dead wrong. The phantom that gnawed at his mind was order. He despised the free market. To him, competition was trash, a wasteful cancer. Monopoly wasn't a crime. Monopoly was pest control. To turn his ruthlessness into absolute truth, he wrapped himself in the most untouchable cloak, religion. He truly believed his own chilling claim, God gave me my money. Does that sentence make you shiver? When a man strangling the world believes his hands are guided by God, he has no limits. Eradicating obstacles wasn't murder. It was clearing the path for divine will. And that frost spared no one. Frank Rockefeller, John T.M.'s own brother. Frank stood before a courtroom and called his own flesh and blood a monster. The disgust was so thick. Frank dug up the earth. He exhumed the bones of his 2 young children and moved them elsewhere. He could now stomach the thought that his children would share a cemetery with John. Welcome to Cleveland, 1872, the Cleveland Massacre. No shell casings, just 22 out of 26 oil refineries erased from the map. Rockefeller forged a phantom alliance with the railroads. He demanded blood money. Every time a rival shipped a barrel of oil, the railroad sliced off a portion of that cash and funneled it straight into Rockefeller's pocket. The harder his competitors worked, the fatter Rockefeller T.M.'s bank account grew. They bled to death without ever finding the cut. Jump to 1914, the Ludlow Massacre. Rockefeller, T.M.'s coal miners went on strike. The response? They didn't send blankets. They sent mercenaries. They brought machine guns. Bullets shredded thin canvas tents. Fire erupted in the dead of night. 21 charred bodies found curled up in sulfur-choked bunkers. He built his throne on numbers. But to keep it, he didn't mind paving the floor with scorched corpses. The U.S. Supreme Court drops the gavel. Standard Oil is shattered. The press roared. Politicians popped champagne. But Rockefeller? He sat in his quiet mansion and smiled. That historic punishment, it made him richer. Standard Oil was chopped into pieces. But Rockefeller kept the shares. The harshest punishment ever dealt accidentally molded him into the world's first billionaire. But a seasoned predator knows ultimate power resides in the minds of the masses. He needed bleaching. So he bought the public relations industry. Camera lenses magically appeared, capturing a frail old man, slipping dimes into dirty hands. He built universities, founded medical institutes. He took the coins squeezed from the lungs of miners and built hospitals for them. He carved out 1% of his fortune to scrub the blood off the other 99%. He monopolized history. Close your history book. This is the naked reality. Politicians preach about the free market. Lies. Rockefeller exposed a brutal theorem. The final destination of unchained capitalism isn't competition. It is absolute monopoly. The strongest predator will never share the rules. He will buy the entire board and lock everyone else in a cage. You think this mess was buried with his frail old body? Reach into your pocket. Pull out your smartphone. Look dead into the screen. Amazon, Google, Meta. They are the extended neural networks of Rockefeller, flipping through his playbook and executing it flawlessly. We are living, breathing, and thrashing inside the iron cage designed by Rockefeller himself. We hate him. We spit on his name. But from the moment we wake up, we are all his obedient subjects. You never have to love a monster, but when you stand naked before it, you are forced to shiver, bow your head, and respect the sickening perfection of its teeth.